Hello, good morning, our lecturer. Good morning, our friends in this class. How are you in this morning? I hope you are in a good conditions. We are from group 6, 1-2 presentations. Our topic is in this morning about grammatical equivalence. I am Rina Kristianis Tepu as a speaker 1. Grammatical equivalence deals with grammatical categories. From Beckers explains that it describes difference in the grammatical structures of the source and the target language often results in some change in the information's content of the message process of translations. This change may the form of adding to the target text informations which is not expressed in the short text. Beckers 1992-86. He proposed 5 main grammatical categories such as number, gender, person, tenses, and aspect and voice. Okay, I will explain it by and by. The first, there is number. English recognizes a distinction between one or singular or more than one or plural. According to Betty Ajar says that some rules are made to make distinctions of singular noun as follows. The first is may be preceded by and for countable noun. For example, a book and an apple. The second, non-countable nouns are not immediately preceded by an or an. For example, a spoon of sugars, a cup of coffee. Nouns are regularly made plurals by addition of s or es. A number of nouns have other plurals form. For the example, classes, ladies. Okay, we continue to the next types. There is gender. English doesn't have a grammatical category of gender as such as English nouns are not regularly inflected of distinguish between feminine and masculine. Gender distinctions are generally more relevant. Translation difference of the nouns or pronoun is human. Gender distinctions in inanimate objects such as car or ships and in animals such as dog and cat are sometimes manipulated in English to convey expressive meaning, particularly but they don't often cause difficulty in non-literary translations. The genders category in English as follows. The first, the gender distinctions nevertheless exist in some semantics area and in the person system. The second, different nouns are sometimes used to refer to female and male members of the same species, cow or pool, do or stakes, and etc. And the third, a small number of nouns which refers to professions have masculine and feminine forms with the suffix ess indicating feminine gender. For the examples, actor or actress, host or hostess, and steward or stewardess, and etc. Okay, we continue to the next types. There is a person. We know that person is orang. Related to the notion of participants rules, the most common distinction is that between first between or I, we, second persons you, the third persons is he, she, or they. In addition, main distinctions based on participants rule, the person systems may be. The functions are as subject, object, possessive adjective, possessive pronouns, and reflexive. Here are the examples of how pronouns used in English. The first, I don't like them. Second, they always make me sad. The third, my life is mess because of their behavior. The Fourth, they think that mine is always better. And the last, I myself never understands that. Okay, we can see in this slide above, there is no parameter used as measurements to use the categories above in English. For the example, I don't have it, sirs. I don't have it, Mirna. It doesn't matter of whoever addressive, whether as or he, someone should be respected or not, pronoun I is used. It is very different in Bahasa Indonesia. Okay, we continue to the next types. There is tense and aspects. Tense and aspects are grammatical category in a large numbers of language. In Becker's opinions, the forms of verb in language which have this category usually indicates two main types of information as follows. The first, times relations. Times relations have to do locations and even in times. The usual distinctions is between past, present, and future. The second, aspectual differences. For the examples, tense. He walks. This is past. He walks. Present. He will walks. Futures. Aspects. He walked. Unitary. He was walking. Continuous. He walks. Repeated. Mood. I can walk. Possibility. Walk faster. Necessity. Okay, the last types is there is a voice. When we talk about voice, we will find the two kinds of voice in language that are active and passive. Active voice is generally preferable to make direct statements of an actions. Voice of active divided to groups as follow: transitive and intransitive. Transitives is active voice which use transitive verbs that are verbs followed by an object, such as Joanna bought a book. Active intransitive is active voice which use intransitive verbs that are not followed by an object. For the example, she is coming tomorrow. In passive clauses, the subject is affected entity and again may or may not be specific depending on the structure available in its language. It relates to principle used to make a passive sentence from an active sentence in English as follows: exchange to S with O. Change the predicate form of V with B verb 3. The second, add the word by in front of the former as. The example is John was helped by Mary. From an active sentence, Mary helped John. Based on the example, only transitive verbs or verbs that follow by an object are used in passive. I think that's all my explanations about the definitions and the types of grammatical equivalence. We can continue to the next speaker.